All right, welcome everybody. I appreciate you all being here, especially after last night. Please silence your Walkmans and stop checking your MySpace accounts and your cell phones. All right, so yeah, you all made it here. Oh wait, shoot. There you go. So you're all getting some experience for waking up early after St. Patrick's Day and coming in to listen to me talk. So I truly appreciate that. I hope that you find this worthwhile. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about who I am, what I mean by soft skills. I have some true stories from the trenches, and I'm going to go over some of the skills that are some of my favorites. All right, so I am Leo Zuniga. I'm a senior designer at Vicarious Visions. I started in QA at Activision back in 1999. Level design is my expertise, but I can do pretty much whatever needs to get done. I've taken several projects from concept to ship as a lead designer or senior level designer. Recently, I've shipped Skylanders Superchargers. Very proud of that project, and it inspired this talk. But this is just the start. I'm really passionate about what I'm about to tell you, and I'm positive that if you capture 2 or 3 skills that I'll talk about, it'll help you in your careers. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much out there to learn. I'm still learning after all these years. But these are really the things that I appreciate in people and other people appreciating me. It's the fuzzy stuff, right? Like, when I saw this quote, not everything that matters can be measured, and not everything that can be measured matters. It really crystallized this topic for me. And it's really because, making games is just a lot of work. It's not easy. But, we all want to do it, so that's why you guys are here. Even if you want to go indie, you still have to work with people. So you got to really learn how to work with others. I've gone through various trainings, Dale Carnegie, Crucial Conversations. There's a lot of stuff out there, and some of it will be presented in this talk. So soft skills. The personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people. It's a skill. It's a set of skills, and like any other skill, it takes practice. It's not something that you just learn and forget. To this day, it's something that I continuously try to improve upon, learn from others, and it's very worth it. It's like when you hear, I really like working with him or her, It's that kind of stuff, the stuff that sometimes it's hard to explain, to capture. I want to give you some context about how we work at VV, how I like to work. We have a team, several teams or sub-teams composed of artists, engineers, designers, that own a certain feature of the game. Whether it's a level, whether it's multiplayer, whether it's racing mode, whatever it is, we try to combine people from multiple disciplines. That's something that we're very proud of, and something that I feel is really a strength of our culture. We have producers, and they tend to facilitate the team's interactions between each other. We allow people to come up with their own process. If you like an Excel sheet somewhere, and if it works for you, good for you. We don't have a common process across everybody. And our tools totally enable that. We can have multiple people working within the same environment. We create layers. It's merge friendly. It's something that we totally go for, and it's very helpful. So I'm going to call out some stories from a level that I worked on doing Superchargers. where I saw some of the skills be valuable as we went through the project. Now this is Monstrous Isles. They're a series of large islands home to the massive titans in Skylanders superchargers. This really what inspired me to do this talk. Why? Well, that level needed help. During just pre-alpha time, maybe after first playable, it just wasn't working out for some people. You know, almost to the cutting floor. But I saw it from concept, and I believed in it. So, but when they put me in the level, I got a little shaky. I'm like, really? You're going to put me in the level that's in trouble? Okay. But I was inspired. This is my little brother with my kids. And I knew that the fantasy had something that we hadn't done before in the Skylanders franchise. So I'm going to show you 2 short clips because the stories that I'm about to tell you kind of reference those setups. The first clip, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? There's some titans in the background walking around, slumbering. There's flocking birds, you know. There's subtle camera shakes. Lots of little things that kind of establish the beginning of the level.
That massive lobster titan has the eye of the ancients. You'll need to get titan size 2 if you want to take it from him.
Wowzers! Talk about bringing it big time!
Look out! Here they come!
Whoa! Whoa! Let me pass up!
All right, the next clip. At this point, we want to surprise the player, okay? You're here in the Monstrous Isles, and you're going to become a Titan. That was the most important spot in the level. It's where I iterated the most, where I spent the most time, where I had others help me compose that sequence. We brought, things that you should notice is that we brought the camera as close as we could through the entire level. There's a lot of little tiny trolls that are shooting you, and they only do 1 point of damage. There's some spacey 60s music going on, like wee woo, you know. Here you go.
We'll fly up ahead and keep an eye out, Skylander. Let's go, Flynn!
Uh-oh! Here comes trouble!
All right, Skylander, that epic-sized lobster titan has the eye of the ancients, but reaching him isn't going to be easy.
Yeah, apparently that king-size crawdad has some super big seaside sickos for security, and I dare you to say that 3 times fast, fast. On second thought.
All right, so how did we get there? How do we take a level that was in trouble and turn it around? We basically look for a lot of low-hanging fruit tasks. I go around and talk to artists, audio guys, engineers, and try to solve all the little things that we could do to get it closer to that experience, fulfilling the fantasy of a monster movie. I don't know if you guys noticed, there was a bird. That bird was not planned by Beta, which is insane. So, but we had the idea. Initially, the NPCs were kind of in a balloon, an air balloon, and they're coming in, and they're like, hey, come on, Skylander, go kick some butt. It's kind of boring. So I talked to one of our animators, Adam, and I was like, hey, Adam, I have this idea. What if we bring Whiskers the bird? Now, these are stressful times. This is beta. Everyone is booked to the brim, right? So Adam is like, oh my God, what are you, dude? What are you gonna do with the bird? And I'm like, dude, you're gonna be walking around and the bird's gonna be like circling around you and they're gonna be talking to you and telling you like, kick some ass, Skylander. That sounds fun, dude. Oh man. All right, I don't even know if it's rigged. Let me look into it. So he goes back and 5 minutes later he IMs me and is like, dude, all right, he's not rigged, but a couple of hours I can have it. All right. Well, in the meantime, I go talk to the leads, and I'm like, hey, I have this idea. I'm going to go for it. What do you guys think? I already talked to Adam. They're like, dude, really? All right, well, go talk to the audio guys. Go talk, and I do, a lot of talking, a lot of buy-in, But I got to do my, crazy dances and, pitches, because they sell it. And they start seeing it, right? And initially, everyone's like, well, how many times is he going to show up in the level? Is it worth it? I'm like, well, all right, well, intro, let's see, Titan sequence grow, let's see, boss fight, okay. All right, 4 times. All right. Okay, so I put him 4 times in. And it was fairly straightforward, very effective. In the end, the bird and the NPC show up 30 times during the level. Totally awesome. The tiny trolls, they are everywhere. They also tank performance. Initially, I had 20 of them. And I knew the performance team, we have a performance team, and their goal is to get the game to run at 30 frames per second, solid. And I help them out in other levels here and there. So I was kind of hiding in my own level. Hopefully they don't show up. They'll show up eventually. So I have those 20 trolls, and I'm playing the level, and I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Man, they're gonna come. So they pat me in the back, and they're like, hey, Leo, you know what we need to do, right? There's too many AI, dude. And I'm like, look, the kids are smiling. 1 point of damage. The combat guy thought it was like, we can't do 1 point of damage. Dude, it's fun. The kids get it. 1 point of damage. I was like, all right, fine. 1 point of damage. So I work with the performance guys, and we're looking at the graphs. We're playing, and I'm like, yep, it's definitely tanking. I go to the AI team. The AI team's like, all right, let me look into it. They spend a little bit of time. They optimize the AI, which helps throughout all the levels, right? And it wasn't working out. So I had this idea, and I go again to Adam, the animator, because he was working with me and the AI team. And I'm like, hey, listen, all they're doing, they're stationary, and we're paying for their traversal. They're not walking around, and they just have a single attack. Could we just script it? They're like, are you nuts? It's like beta. Like, actually post-beta at this point. Like 2 days before ship. So I was like, all right, let me go back to my desk and I'll try it out. Bam, script. Showed it to the animator. He was happy with it. It was so under budget that I added 60 trolls and still under budget. The closed camera. We had to have it. But we have 300 plus Skylanders, all kinds of heights. We have the tiny little dudes. We have the giant, other dudes, tall. It wasn't going to work. It may work for one Skylander and it's totally awesome, but if they load up with another guy, it clips through the camera. So I talked to the camera guy, Chad the camera guy. And I'm like, dude, I have this idea. I want to get the camera as close as possible, but this is the problem. And we go back and forth, and he's like, hey, maybe I can expose a field for all the character data, and you can just tweak it and adjust the offset. Done. Let's do that. So next day, he has that feature done with other tasks that he was booked with. But I go talk to the character guys, and he was like, hey, listen, there's got to be this new field on the character data. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. So I spent half a day loading all kinds of Skylanders. I talked to QA, so they helped me out. And we did it. Paid off big time. It truly takes a village to make games. There's a lot of talking. But there's also got to be a lot of doing. And the soft skills, that's what helps. So I'm going to go over some of my favorites. It's just a small sample. You got to have a positive attitude. You got to have some enthusiasm. Early on, my parents were like, it's much easier to see the negative. Go find the positives. It's worth the effort. And I'm not saying like just, be positive for the sake of being positive. No, like spend a little bit of time. Think about the good that's going on. People like that. People like to be around people who just, bring them up. You just feel that. Focus on the problems, not the solutions. We're in a creative field. Everyone's gonna give you it needs to be purple. You gotta have 7 dudes, not 6. I'm like, why? Tell me why. What is the problem? What are you trying to solve? What's the real goal? Here's a story. We were doing a leads review. My boss just, was there. We were reviewing an encounter on a title. And it's a superhero game. There's a lot of fighting. Here come the dudes. There's some fighting going on. My boss is like playing. He's actually playing. And he's like, we need more guys. I'm like, all right, I'll take the note. I'll go back and talk to an audio guy. Dude, I need some kick-ass encounter music. Next review, my boss is playing the same encounter. He's playing and he's like, oh my God, how many dudes did you add? I tell the story all the time. Whoa. So yeah, because adding dudes was a pain in the ass. All right, so early in my career, I started, I was like, I'm going to be a designer, so I'm going to go listen to designers. And creative people, we tend to talk a lot. Talk. Here's a magical idea, blah, awesome, and there's boom and bam, and I'm like, exhausted. I'm like, why don't you just show it to me, okay? Please. I gotta go back to my desk. Keep it simple. Just get to the point. I tell people, elevator pitch. Give me your elevator pitch. If you come to my desk and you want to pitch me something, elevator pitch. Now, not all the time an elevator pitch will be, will do it justice, but if it's possible, just do an elevator pitch. Oh, this is another good one. Warning flags. Okay. Problems exist, and you need to be okay with that. Do we need to solve this now or later? Some of them, they just kind of fade away. It's magical. Now, we all have this. We all have our warning flag. Like, oh my God, there's a problem. We got to solve this. Another one, and another one, and another. People just walk away at that point. But if you reserve that for when you really feel that there's a problem that needs to be solved, looked into, just raise it up. Be like, hey, our AI is kind of expensive. Could we spend a little bit of time so that we can get some performance gains across the levels? Because we got to ship in a week. All right, I'll help. All right. People will listen if you keep to those crucial moments. Get to know them. These people are awesome. Okay? So we all learn like, treat others as you want to be treated. And that's cool. The next one is treat them as they want to be treated. Because as soon as you get to know them, how they listen, how they communicate, just adapt yourself. You need to adapt. okay? They will appreciate that so much. Game jams are awesome for that. I get to work with people that I see in the office, but I have no idea what their skill set is, or, you know, they may be awesome, they may not be, or whatever. So, we had a game jam, and here comes Mike, the new guy. It was like his second week, new tool set. We had a new scripting system, and we had a game jam. So it's like, yeah, it's like, we're gonna do this, and it's like, all right, awesome. So we're working, we're getting so much stuff done. It was cool to interact and have those conversations, make the right calls or whatever. And then it's prime time. We have a group of leads that kind of come over and like review your stuff, and we're like, oh, that's cool. Oh, we should totally keep doing that prototype. And they were on their way to our kiosk, and things were not working out. Mike, the new guy, was on a script that was failing. I was next to Mike, and I'm like, hey, Mike, do you know what you're doing? And he was like, yeah, dude, I think I see it. All right, boom. Now inside, I'm like, oh my God, ah! But you know, I'm like, hey, welcome to the company. He did it. He freaking did it. He's a good friend of mine. Body language, yeah. I don't like crossing my arms, because it just makes me, you know, kind of, I don't know, I don't like it. Especially when there's someone talking about a sensitive topic, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of sensitive, so I'm just going to listen, right? And if I'm in a meeting, I don't want to be laid back, especially in a meeting with, even if he's a junior. He's got my attention. I come to the meeting, he's got my attention, and I'm like, okay, I'm here to listen. You got to watch how you're presenting yourself to others. People, they just trust the body more than your words. It's just, it's nature. All right, circle of influence. Okay. There are things you can control, things that you can influence, and things that you cannot control, okay? Find out those things quickly. You can't control the weather. Don't complain about the weather. You can't control milestone dates. You know, some people can, but I can't, you know. I can't control their competition. I can only do the best I can. I can control the work in my level, the quality. I can control myself, I can control my attitude. And I can influence others by doing that. Projecting a positive attitude, proper listening, proper communication. I can make like quick prototypes to you know, influence like, hey, we should do this feature, look, it's almost working. 6 months later. This is something that I learned very early in my career. And it was a HR training. They sent us to a college, local college. And the guy was talking about the bank of trust. We all have trust accounts with each other. You make deposits and you take withdrawals. If someone asks you for help and you say, yep, I'll get it done by tomorrow, and it's done, balance goes up. Maybe you fail. Balance goes a little down, but not all the way, because you've been, you know, they come to you all the time, and you just know it. There are people in the office that could tell me, Leo, walk off the cliff. I'm going to jump off the cliff because I trust them. Hopefully there's a trampoline down below. That's another good one. If you can find problems that you can solve, take them on. Don't wait for someone to tell you, especially if it's one of those low-hanging fruit ones. spend the time covering your bases. You know, don't just go crazy alone. If it's, you know, if you need help, you gotta get people's buy-in. People truly appreciate it. Like what I do is anytime someone says, I'm blocked, I'm like, whoop, okay, what's going on? All right, we could do something about that. Bum, 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 done, you're not blocked. Okay. Our VO pipeline was kind of, everyone was blocked because we didn't get a VO delivery. And I was like, all of a sudden it's like, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked. And I'm like, okay, well, let me go talk to the audio guys. Hey, Jimmy, so Excel can do like text-to-speech, right? Let me test it out, okay, boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden we have robot voices for our dialogue, and everyone's unblocked. People truly appreciate that. As you go through your career, life in general, I guess, and you start finding your role models. Seek them out. If you don't have any, go find some. Have one-on-one talks. Get their advice. You know, pitch your ideas. What do you want to do next? You know, just have a chat. Have lunch with them. People who you know do some awesome stuff and truly are here to help you out. Stay humble. I work with freaking talented people. There's no way I could learn everything. There's no way you all can learn everything. So I do a lot of like, hey, hold on. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Thank you. That totally makes sense. This is from my QA days, you know. I had people really take the time, excuse me, to explain things. And to this day, I don't care about titles. Whether you're a junior, senior, executive, whatever it is, I'm going to pay the same amount of attention to you. Tony Hawk was very humble, by the way. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's not a weakness. So there was a time when I was put on a project because the project needed 6 levels in 3 months. And they were like, Leo, we know you've been a lead designer, but we need 6 levels, man. We need you, okay? Just make us 6 levels, make them awesome. New engine, new scripting. Maya to max, which is not a big deal, but still. I came in and I was very frank. I was like, hey, listen. Okay. This is going to be a challenge. It's a new engine, man. Okay. So Johnny, a good friend of mine, had been there in the project for several months. So I was like, hey, Johnny, listen. I don't think I'm going to have the time to truly learn the scripting system. I could take some existing scripts, tweak them out, make my own things, but I may need your help here and there. And he's like, yeah, no problem, Leo. And, you know, I offered, I can help you with layout, camera, geo, whatever, encounters. I'll help you, you help me. I wasn't shy about it. People around me were listening. And I love telling this story. It took such a weight off my shoulders to be okay with not learning the scripting system, right? I'm going to do the rest of the stuff. I'm going to leverage some of my peers, and we're going to kick some ass. So early on, you're like, oh, you got to talk to artists this way, and you got to talk to engineers that way, and executives, don't talk to those guys, you know. Be shy. There comes a point where really it doesn't matter who you talk to. Again, you can have 2 artists. One of them is an introvert, one of them is the other one is an extrovert. Same with engineers. So Everyone just wants to make some awesome stuff. I'm a firm believer that designers don't own ideas, for example. People get really passionate and motivated to make great stuff. So, these are skills. Just like any skill, you got to start using them today. Like, watch your posture while you're, listening to somebody. Go have, a chat with someone else or whatever. Start practicing. If you're already in a company, talk to your HR department. If you're going to school, talk to your career department or your peers. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Do you have time for questions? Are there any questions? Use the mic, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Being that it's a creative environment, have you ever had a situation where you had an impasse and you couldn't
Yep.
communicate, and did you have to get a supervisor involved? And how did that work? How did that go?
Well, I mean, you get the supervisor that you may have like a triad, kind of work it out. Sometimes we have situations where, like, dude, this is really fun. Kids will appreciate it. Oh my God, this is not going to work. And then we go to kit testing, right? We go to a third party that will truly tell us what's the right choice, what's the right call. So, yeah.
So it was more like a negotiation to continue forward?
Yeah.
Based on what someone else told you to do, the third party told you to do?
You could do that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.